I have a whole bunch of stuff that's trying to come out all at once. And the only way to start clearing it out, I mean, to start creating space for it to come out, is to start literally clearing it out. And so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to find my flower essences. I think, okay, here's my format. I'll be recording for myself. I'll upload the first draft, which is minimally edited. And that is what will go public. And then the next step would be, if I feel like there are segments in it that are worth making standalone videos of, then I'll do that. Being able to speak out loud the process helps me a lot. And part of my goal for all of the content I create is to essentially invite the viewer into onto my team. So basically, if we worked together and we were on a project team together, when we had committee meetings, the stuff I want to talk about and record myself is very similar, at least for the business stuff, similar to what I would talk about in a meeting. So I know there'll be some folks, I'm guessing it's most likely people who are consider themselves to be scrappy entrepreneurs, and people who are neurodivergent, who are, I don't know, trying to figure out how to live in the system, but outside of it as well, and thrive. People who have amazing gifts to give, and they know that the gifts they have to give, whether it be art or sound baths or coaching or gathering people, networking, that's one of mine. Lost track of thought. Anyway, I'm going to talk about divine compensation. I'm going to invite people to come talk about their entrepreneurial journeys. My friends and I will have like work parties or work co-working sessions sometimes, and we'll record those. Some people want to see it. It's the kind of content I would have watched if I was maybe like right before stepping into actually starting to make my first YouTube channel. I would have watched the kind of content I intend to make. And I'm excited that all of these resources are available. I like to record a lot about my life. I like to share what I know, and I don't have the opportunities to do a lot of that, and I don't really want to be around people all the time. So this is amazing because I can share this with anyone. The boundaries of where they are make no difference whatsoever. Even language isn't going to make much of a difference because there's translation available. But just the fact that now anyone, regardless of the quality of their message, anyone can create a situation where they have eyes on them. And it used to be that you had to do something extraordinary, or there had to be some incredible like uprising of some kind, and it had to be either on the television news or in the newspaper. And that was like the only way that huge amounts of like many people could learn about something in particular. So the barrier to entry was pretty high in order to be able to get anything out there, unless you are like a world leader of some kind. So now there's not that barrier at all. Anyone can do something like what I'm doing. And it gives the opportunity for a lot of micro niches, which is pretty fucking great, actually. Anyone can access it. It's very inexpensive. It's very easy to use. And, you know, back in my childhood and young adult and teenagerhood, no one had computers in their home. No one. Maybe very rich people. I don't know at what point home computers started to be a thing, but definitely into the 80s, it was something that a computer filled an entire room. And so that's when I was a teenager, was in the mid late 80s. Like I thought, oh, I have to become an actress or a well-known speaker or something like that in order for anyone to ever hear anything that I have to say. But also painfully shy and afraid of anyone looking at me. So it's not like I was ready early in my life. So I love this painting my friend made. I like when it looks like my head's exploding. Okay. Oh, I have a crown too. So I have mind orgasms a lot, and that's when it literally feels like that, and a bunch of ideas coming all at once. So the other thing I love about this is there seems to be some expectation in this world that if you can't speak in a linear fashion, or if you speak before you've thought about it, or basically if you make anything public and it is not like polished, then you shouldn't do it. And that's stupid and fucked up. And this whole linear thing, like that's not how my brain works. And so in order for me to like basically translate it for the listener, I have to go through a bunch of hoops in order for that to happen. But if I instead directed that energy towards just letting it out, and even if it comes out backwards, like usually the end of what I meant to say, of what I said is what I meant to say at the beginning. Anyhow, if I don't have to put all my energy into translating for you, whoever's listening or watching, then I have a lot more energy to put towards something else. And also, I think a lot of people's brains work sort of like mine and might. It's like, here's the idea, here's part 1, 3, 4, 6. So the unscrambling, I feel a lot of freedom by recording in this way, because I realize I've been editing myself online when I've been live, even if it's unlisted. So anyhow, yeah, anyone who's bitching about like, I don't have what I need, or it's too hard, or I don't know. Yes, I mean, there's real reasons why things are hard sometimes, but that's why we really should be teaming up more often. People should be helping each other out. That's the hard part, is that there's a hyper individualism that's still very present in our society, and it's so prevalent that people think there's something wrong with them because they can't do things all by themselves all the time. People do extremely well on YouTube with just sharing their lives, just speaking to the camera like they would a friend, and are very successful with it. And so, yeah, that's perfect for me, because I can easily speak to the camera like I would speak to a friend, because often I'm imagining a friend on the other side. I do also like to use it as a way to listen to myself without having to try to remember, and try to keep these two tracks going. Instead, I just like focus on what's coming out, and then let the like note taker take a break, because this is the note taker. Or executive assistant, if you want to call it that, executive assistant, who then goes after the meeting to like clean up the notes and put them in some sort of structure. My naturopathic doctor specializes in mental health. My PCP. She made this one for me. She says that this one is specifically great for people who need to have clear boundaries with themselves, sticking to my agreements that I make with myself, but also folks like her and I and other therapists, coaches, body workers, energy workers, in order to keep other folks' stuff outside and our essence and resource and whatever inside, not leaking all over the place. This is helpful for that. On my business page, Scrappy Entrepreneur School, it needs to be at least not completely rough draft before I post it there. So I'll start with art processing. And then by the time it gets to Scrappy Entrepreneur, a lot of this like chitter chat will be gone. Some folks just want to listen to all the chitter chat too. It'll be like on in the background. It's like you have a talkative friend who never lets you get a word in edgewise. Or you just don't feel like talking that day. Maybe you have, laryngitis. Okay, so already so far today, I have showered, slept in a little, 7:30. I went and got acupuncture. It's a beautiful sunny day. I've spent some time outside. I went and got acupuncture from this amazing gal that I've been working with now for years. And the specific thing that we've been working on quite a bit lately is my menstrual cycle. It's been far too short and far too sluggish. And I didn't know that actually having cramps is a sign of, your uterus having to work too hard. There's not actually a foregone conclusion that cramps are like a thing. It's actually a sign that there's some way your body needs support. And it was when I was telling her, like, oh, I couldn't get out of bed for at least a full day almost every single cycle when I was a teenager. She was like, oh my God. I didn't tell her that I used to just actually pass out from the pain, because Advil would like help a little bit. It would take the edge off just enough that I could fall asleep. So maybe it's not really passing out. It's just I couldn't sleep until at least the edge was taken off, and Advil or Tylenol. Oh, I also do yoni steams with her. That's actually pretty fucking cool. That is something more people need to know about, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. So, we've been working for a while, like I said, and there's a number of things that she suggested that I do, my protocol to try to extend my cycle. And I know every single one of these things is super effective. One of them being exercise. I know I need to do that anyway. My body tells me, hey, your knee is going to hurt a lot more if you don't walk every day. So, or that kind of stuff. Like if I exercise every day, even if it's just a 30-minute, 20-minute walk, I feel far less pain. So that's one of her suggestions, as well as my physical therapist, my doctor, as well as my body. That's one. I'm doing quite well with that. Two was yoni steams on day 19, 20, 21 of my cycle. I did it. That's taken a while for me to get consistent. Seed cycling, I'm trying to do some of my PT exercises. Seed cycling, which is during, really it's just 2 different periods of your menstrual cycle. You eat like a couple tablespoons of different nuts to support the hormones. It's very easy to find information. I've done pretty good with eating the sesame seeds. I eat them maybe at least a quarter of the time. And then the pumpkin seeds, again, kind of a quarter. So I'll keep improving on that. I made it in today on day 22 of my cycle. So she did a little bit of belly massage and acupuncture points that are all really kind of customized towards the back pain I was feeling, related probably to my cycle, as well as try to extend the cycle. And so at one point she said, well, the resistance to implementing all of these things, it makes sense. A really common way of talking about this sort of stuff, that if you haven't been able to implement a new habit or something, despite a lot of trying on your own, that you have resistance about it. And in some cases, that might be true. But what I think is actually more likely is that you just don't know how to do it yet. And so it's pretty hard to do something well that no one's ever told you how to do or showed you how to do. You haven't seen it modeled. It might seem simple to add a certain kind of seeds to my diet every day of the month. It shouldn't be that hard. Well, it's a new idea. It's a new concept. I'm tracking lots of other things. I was pretty hit or miss up until this month, and we've been working on this for like over a year. It's more that it's a new thing. And especially like people who are trying to organize themselves or structure or get more done or whatever, be more effective. They really beat themselves up for absolutely, totally no good reason. Because if you just generally don't know how to do something, or maybe the way you've been shown just didn't make sense, or maybe you never got shown how to organize your week, for example, how to keep making progress on projects. If nobody's ever taught you that, like, yeah, of course it's gonna be hard. Why is everybody beating themselves up about that? And embarrassed. People seem to be embarrassed to say, I don't know how to do that. And I feel bad because I know that the environment that basically anyone under 40, I think, has grown up in, I don't know. No, I think basically probably everybody alive today has grown up in a like this soup of, if you can't do something well, don't do it at all. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Children are meant to be seen and not heard. A lot of that kind of stuff. I just see almost zero education in elementary school, middle school, or high school of how to do your homework, like study skills. I don't I don't know how prevalent that is. Maybe it's slightly more prevalent now than it was when my daughter was in school, but it was like an elective. Why is something like that an elective? Why are so many kids left to just like figure it out, kid? If there isn't somebody to show you, of course people are going to have kind of maladaptive ways of doing things, and they're going to beat themselves up. So like, they can't ever get anything done. Anyway, so when she said, I understand your resistance to implementing this, I wish instead it was, basically some awareness of, oh, you don't know how to do that yet, or what, I don't know, whatever. It's just not a resistance. It's not resistance. That's just, I don't know how. And so it's kind of hard to implement something when you don't know how and you don't know what it looks like. So that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, just in general, there's a lot of language in our world that is very oriented towards shame and blame, and you're not doing it right. And like one of the things that makes me nuts is how the word stupid is used. Because I can't recall this specific definition, but I know for sure the definition of stupid is not uneducated. I mean, yeah. So what people often seem to say is, oh, you're stupid because you don't know that. Oh, you don't know that? You're stupid. Some variation of that. And what stupid means in that context is, oh, that's something you don't know how to do. You don't know, then no one's ever taught you how to do that thing. Oh, you're uneducated, is it more accurately. It shouldn't be you're stupid because you don't know how to do something, or you don't know some fact or figure. It's that you haven't learned it yet, or you're uneducated. I mean, I still feel like you haven't learned it yet is the kinder way, because uneducated is still kind of negative. There you go. So yeah, stupid doesn't mean uneducated. So stop using it that way. If you're calling someone stupid just because they didn't learn something, that's not what stupid means. It's something more to do with intelligence. And intelligence has nothing to do with education at all. Nothing. Intelligence can be many different ways of extraordinary intelligence. Book smarts is not the only fucking one. And I fucking hate how this world is set up to be like, if you're not book smart, then you're dumb. You're stupid. How do I introduce concepts and talk about stuff in the leader group I started? Call it Come As You Are for leaders and way showers. Within that group, there are a ton of extraordinarily talented people who both are offering things that many others in that community would be interested in. Also, there are folks out there who are like, I have skills and I want to give them, and I don't know, I'm having a hard time finding a job. And then there's all these like micro businesses who could really use some support. And basically, there's this expansive network within this community where a bunch of the roots are all cut apart because no one's talking to each other about this sort of stuff. They go to workshops and they're like, we're going to talk about our feelings and inner child work and stuff, but don't bring in the rest of your life in here. Don't tell me what you do for work. You're a human being, not a human doing. Anyway, really no invitation to talk about kind of what your vocation is or career. The dance folks are like, don't talk, we move together, or we see each other at dance, or we might have light chit chat, but this isn't when we talk about business or work. So that doesn't come into the dance space. Don't play with your food shit, stupid. Sit here until you finish your dinner, stupid. I like to take a long time to eat. I like to come and go. I like to wiggle. And if everybody's forced to like, no, I don't care if you say you're full, you haven't eaten everything, you have to sit here till you've eaten it, disregard your body's signals that you're full. Listen to me, that I'm an external, yeah, your body's not telling you the right thing, or, eat it anyway. No, you can't move around. No, you can't be creative and play with your food. I mean, that's all fucking stupid. Why not create like problems with food, like unhealthy? That's it. Okay, I'm gonna end now.